You've heard it all before. You need to learn how to listen better. You need to be a better listener. Communication skills are like gold for advisors. You see this everywhere. Ask better questions and then listen to the answer. I agree with all of that, but what often gets missed is, well, how do you listen? Do I need to go to some big, long weekend seminar on how to listen? Do I need to become some kind of a therapist? How do you listen better? Well, there's an easy way to do this. The 80-20 rule. The 20% of the skills you need to get 80% of the way there are just 3 skills. First one, adopt a mindset of curiosity. Curiosity says, I want to learn. So a client has a whole lot of unarticulated thoughts. And when you ask a good question or you ask a good prompt, with the intent of understanding the answer, you help them understand the answer too. It's instead of me saying, here's what I need to show you, here's what I need to tell you, or even here's the kind of question I need to ask. If your first and foremost mindset is, I'm curious about this human that's in front of me, you help them articulate their thoughts in such a way that you learn the answer and they also learn the answer. So when you adopt a mindset of curiosity, everything else that comes from that is in service of understanding what's going on with this human. That's weird. Becomes, I wonder why they said that. I wonder why they're not doing that. I'm curious to see how they got this perspective. Because there's no saying that things you don't know are more important than things you know. You already know what you know. Curiosity is like a magnet that draws out things that you don't already know. Curiosity helps you learn things that can be beneficial for your client's plan, things that can help put their plan into perspective. So things you don't know are more important than what you already know, and curiosity draws out the things you don't know, like why a client has this perspective, why a client did or didn't do what they said they would do. Okay, so number 1, just adopt a mindset of curiosity. Put on your curiosity hat when you're trying to be a good listener. Step 2, now that you've already got this mindset of curiosity, so you're already most of the way there, is to resist giving advice. Now, I know advice is in your title. You're an advisor. That's one who advises. And giving advice is how one advises. I get it. So there's nothing wrong with giving advice. I just want you to stop giving advice too early. Because when a client's not ready to hear your advice, it's likely to fall on deaf ears. There's a reason they say that unsolicited advice is like the junk mail of life. Because I don't want to hear advice that I didn't ask for. Or even if I asked for it and I'm not ready for it, I'm not ready to get it. So they call this the writing reflex. It's that gut reaction, or sometimes the fixing reflex, that gut reaction to jump in and solve your problem. You do this for a living, and especially if you're niched, you really, really have a good understanding of a lot of the things that the client's going through. It doesn't mean to say that you know every human that sits down in front of you just because you've niched, but you know a lot of what's going on. So there's a lot of things that you're going to know really quickly. And so you can know the answer, and you can know the answer in 3 seconds, but you don't say it yet. That's resisting the writing reflex. Even if you know the answer, you don't say it yet. You continue to help the client feel understood through that lens of curiosity. You might know the answer, but you resist saying it. It's the old Theodore Roosevelt quote. Clients don't care, or people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But once they know how much you care, now they're open to your answers. So there's a trick, there's an art to delivering the advice that you already knew at the right time. So you're resisting the writing reflex. And by the way, you know the answer, at least you think you know the answer, but through your curiosity, you might learn something that changes the answer. And that's okay too. That's better, because that means you didn't offer advice that would have been wrong. So you've already adopting this mindset of curiosity. You're resisting the writing reflex. You're resisting the urge to give advice too soon. Third and final 80-20 rule here is get comfortable with silence. This is hard. This is easy said, not easy done. Easier said than done, as they say. We call it awkward silence for a reason, because it feels weird. It feels weird when there's silence. But what happens when you fill the gap? I'm uncomfortable with silence, and so I jump in to fix it. Maybe I even do the right thing. I offer a reflection. It sounds like you're having a hard time with this decision. Yeah, sure. But what's happening when a client's in front of you having conversations that they might not have had before is they need to think. So they're thinking, they're processing. They don't know this answer. They don't know how to articulate this yet. And if you cut them off, you've interrupted their train of thought. And this could be well intended. One, I might be uncomfortable with silence. Two, maybe I think that I didn't ask the question right. Maybe I think that the silence is an indication of their confusion. And so I jump in and re-ask the question, or I ask the question in a different way. But whatever I'm doing, I'm interrupting them. So get comfortable with silence. Practice this. You ask a question, you elicit some advice, wait 5 seconds. You can even say it in your head. And then they might say something like, well, that made me think of something. Oh, I just thought of something. They might even say, I've seen this so many times. That's a good point. That's a really good point. I haven't thought of that before. But you didn't make a point. You gave them enough time for them to articulate something that they already knew. They made the point. So you follow these three 80-20 rules of listening. Adopt a mindset of curiosity. Get comfortable with silence, and don't offer advice too soon. And pretty soon, you'll have clients who feel really understood. Now, obviously, the better your communication skills, the more effective your communication. That shouldn't be a surprise to you. But way up here is the client who says, thanks for being such a good listener. That was the best session I've ever had. I can't believe how much we covered. You'll hear this so many times, and you'll be confused by, I didn't even do anything. All I did was listening. Or all I did was listen. That's the game. If you listen well enough, you can help a client feel understood. And when a client feels understood, that's the best gift you can give them. Hey, Derek Hagan here at Money Quotient. If this was interesting to you, if this is something that you want to learn more about, this is the kind of thing that we teach at Money Quotient. We teach financial advisors communication skills, facilitation techniques. We teach them about life planning. And basically it all comes down to Stephen Covey's quote, what good is climbing a ladder if it's leaning against the wrong wall? Or if the ladder you're climbing isn't leaning against the right wall, every step you take just gets you to the wrong place faster. So we help advisors, help clients identify the right wall. So if this is interesting to you, head on over to moneyquotient.com. You can learn about our True Wealth planning process, which is our model of financial life planning, which guides clients through 5 stages and 4 inquiry categories. These are the types of conversations that you have. So please let me know if you want to learn more, moneyquotient.com.